So now in this video, we are going to see some of the options in Surface. So in which we can create the models by using the curves. So as I explained in the previous video, about the curves and some of the base options. So now we will create some models by using the curves. So first we'll see about the loft. So loft is nothing but it will create the surface between the selected curves. So I will show the example. So suppose if you want to create any curtain, so let's say if I go to the top view, so I will go to this create curves. I will create the curve by using the CV curve tool. So let's say from top view. So let's say I have created this curve. Now what I will do is just I will duplicate this. So I can shift and drag. So I can create the duplicate. Now I will make some changes in top curve. So now what the thing is, suppose if you want to create the surface between these two curves here. So what we have to do is we need to select these two curves and we need to go to surface and there is an option like loft. So if I click on this loft, what it will do is just it will create the surface between the selected curves. So if you want to make any changes, you can select the vertex of the curve. Let's say if I select the curve and if I go to the vertex and if I make any changes, it will apply to this model here. So in this way, we can create the surface between the two curves. Not only two curves, we can create the surface between multiple curves. For example, if I go to this like front view or side view. So let's say if I create the curve. So if I go to create curve like CV. Let's say now I have created this curve. I will duplicate this curve now. So let's say Control D. And I will make some changes. So I will go to the vertex mode. Let's say I will just place it over here. Suppose if I duplicate again, and this time I will make it a little bit flat, and I will select this vertex in this way. And let's say if I'll duplicate one more, and also I will change this direction to here and this way. So now what the thing is, by using these curves, we can create the surface in between this thing. So what we have to do is first we need to select order properly, means like don't select it randomly. Either you can select like 1, 2, 3, 4, or else you can select in this order. So we should not select in between curves as a first selection. First, we need to select these curves in an order. And after that, we need to go to this surface and click on this loft. So what it will do is just it will create the surface based on the direction and the shape of the curve. And whenever we create this curve, actually it has been created in the reverse direction. In case if you want to reverse these faces, so we need to select that and go to the surface. There is an option like reverse direction. And now it will create the perfect face. And if you want to make any changes, you can select the curve here. So just if I select this curve, go to the vertex and you can make any changes here. And now suppose in case if you want to convert it into polygon, means like suppose like if you want to extrude the faces or any edges, we cannot extrude the faces or vertex in this when it is in the surface mode, because if you shift right click, you will not get an option to extrude or something, or else there will be no any face option. You will have only like hull or something. Later I will explain what is hull. So hull is nothing but to change this shape of the object here. So what the thing is, in case if you want to select the face and if you want to extrude, first we need to convert it into polygon. So in order to convert it into polygon, we need to select that surface and make sure we need to go to like modify, convert, and there is an option NURBS to polygon. So we need to select the box instead of selecting the option directly. We need to select this box. And after that, defaultly, you will have these settings like the object will be converted into triangular mesh, but we don't want the triangular mesh. So we want the quads. So I will select the quads and also here the count. So by using this count, we can increase and decrease the number of subdivisions over this polygon. So let's say let it be like a default. And now I will click on this apply. So now what the thing is, see, it has been converted into polygon. So if I select and if I move in the Y direction, so you can see now it has been converted into polygons. But still, if you make any changes in this vertex, it will be applied to this polygon here. So now suppose what the thing is, if you want to unlink this thing, means like whenever we make changes, if you don't want to apply these changes to the polygon, if you want to unlink, just we need to select this polygon and just we need to go to edit delete all type by history. So whenever we delete this history, it will just unlink between these two things. Means like, see, whenever we make some changes, it will not apply to this polygon. So in this way, we can use this loft option. So next we will see about the planar. So if I go to this surface, there is an option like planar. It's like simple, like what the thing is, suppose if you create any curve, the random curve, if I go to this create curve tool like CV, and now if you want to close this, shift right click, open close. And now what the thing is, just if you want to create the surface inside this curve here. So we have to select the curve and go to surface and planar. So whenever we click planar, it will create the surface based on the shape which we have drawn here. So simple, if you want to convert it into polygons, then same like we need to go to modify, convert, nubs to polygon. So what the thing is, after converting into polygons, if you want, you can extrude these faces. Means like, for example, if you convert into quads and count, now see, if you select this, we can select the faces, and if you want to extrude, you can extrude these faces here. So in this way, we can use this planar option. So just I will delete this. And next, there is an option called revolve. So this is very useful when you want to create the round kind of shapes. Means like, for example, see if I go to the front view or side view, suppose in case if you want to create any wine glass. So let's say I will draw the shape of that wine glass by using the curve. So if I go to this curve tool, let's say if I go to this CV curve, so now this is a side view of this wine glass. So what the thing is, but based on this curve, if you want to create the model, so simple, just we need to select this curve and go to surface. There is an option like revolve. So whenever we click on this revolve, what it is doing is the curve is going to create the 360 degrees of surface. According to that, it is going to create the model. So if I go to surface and revolve, and if you want to make any changes, you can select the curve. So suppose let's say if I select the curve, and now if I move this left and right, so it is going to increase and decrease the width. And also if I go to the vertex mode, and if I select this vertex, and we can make some changes here. So in this way, we can use the curve and we can create the round kind of shapes easily without using the polygons and cylinder. And later, if you want to add any thickness or if you want to add any details, we need to convert it into polygons. So select this like modify, convert, knobs to polygon, and now it has been converted. So like whenever we select that polygon, now we got this thing here. So if I press 3, we got this smooth model. And now if you want to add thickness, just we can select the faces, shift right click, extrude. So just we can extrude this. And now if you want to add any details, let's say if I want to insert any loop, we can insert the loop here and just select the faces. Just we can extrude this thing here. So in this way, we can create this kind of models by using the revolve option. Suppose in case if you want to create a model by using any reference, for example, if I use this image, now if you want to take the reference of this image, first we need to import this image into Maya. So for example, if you want to import this image, simple, just we need to go to like front or side view. And here there is an option like view. In view, there is an option image plane and select this import image. After selecting this import image, we need to browse that image. Now we have browsed this image. Now what the thing is, we need to create the curves on these edges of this flower vase. So let's say if I go to like create curve, EP curve, I will draw from the center. So what the thing is, when I'm drawing from the center, after creating the model, this side will be closed. And here I will draw up to only this corner. So I will show that. So let's say if I select this, now we can create the curve. So now I will create the curve up to only the corner. And now just I will select this and I will move aside. So now we got this model. So simple, just what we need to do is select this surface and revolve. So we got this width, simple, just we need to select the curve and just change the position so that it will decrease the width here. And now what the thing is, as you want to create the open face over the top, so that's why I didn't draw the curve to the center here. Means like, for example, if I select the curve and if I go to the vertex mode and see if I select this vertex and if I move to center, it will close the surface here. So if you want to create the open, we need to draw only up to this corner. And here down bottom, I want to close. That's why I have created it up to the center. So if you want open, we need to select that vertex and just we need to drag this so that it will create the open face here. And laterally, if you want to add the thickness, simple, just like we have to convert it to polygons and we can make some changes. So in this way, we can use these three options like Loft, Planar, and Revolve. So later in the classes, I will going to explain about the remaining options in the surface. So see you there.